Now, let us have a look at how generative AI works. So, diving into the process of how generative AI works, let us take the example of text generation and dive into detail, which we took in the last video. Prompt input is the user provided input that the user is going to enter into the text generation prompt. Tokenization is the process of taking this example prompt. Here I've taken a simple example from the popular phrase, the starting of the popular phrase, the quick brown. This is fed into a tokenizer. Now, tokenizer is a kind of a process that converts this input text into token IDs or numbers. Each of these words would be assigned to a particular token ID. Now, this token ID is fed into the model, and based on the context window, it is going to predict, given each of these set of words, which is the most likely word that is going to occur. Then, this whole phrase is going to be fed as input into the model, and it is going to generate the next word for us. This cyclical process keeps on repeating. So in this context window, it acts as model's short-term memory, and it limits the amount of input the model can process at once, which is defined by the context window size or the maximum number of tokens that we have selected in the console. This text generation process takes as input one word or token at a time. Each prediction is then added to the context for next prediction, and this process continues until we reach the max token size or the stop sequence. The detokenizer takes each of these input token IDs and converts them back into human readable text. So we can see that it has generated for us the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. As you might know, this is a very popular phrase. Some of the other important concepts or terminologies that are used include tokens and context length. So, token roughly consists of 4 characters of English. And in the context of GPT-3, it's 4096 tokens. And for GPT-4, it includes 8192 tokens. Parameters represent the size and complexity of the model. Like we saw in the previous section, our foundation models are composed of neural network nodes. Now, parameters are defined as each of those weighted connections as to how many parameters are going to be there in order to define the neural network. Modern models have typically scale of billions of parameters. That is how you would see various terminologies that the models are typically referred to, like Llama 7B, indicating parameters in the scale of 7 billion, or Llama 13B, another popular model with a scale of parameters in 13 billion. It all represents the complexity of the model and the desirable size and our use case on which it depends. Model architecture is based on deep neural networks having over 100 layers, which can be compared to simpler networks with 3 to 4 layers. Now, another popular terminology is called temperature. Temperature is responsible for controlling the creativity and randomness of the model's output. If you want very predictable responses, you would typically lower the temperature, and if you would want more diversified, unexpected, creative, out of the box responses, you would increase the temperature. Inference, as we saw before, is the act of using the model to generate text. Looking at the kinds of foundation models, we have LLMs, which include text generation and chat models. Then we have diffusion models, which include image generation models. For example, Stability AI has provided stable diffusion models. Then we have a smaller category of models known as multimodal, which deal in both text and vision models. For example, Claude 3 is a multimodal model. Now let us head over to the console to have a look at some of these models that are provided by AWS. So I'm here on AWS console and let me click on Get Started. As I instructed you before, you would have to request these models in order to view them. Having a look at some of the base models, which are the pre-trained foundation models that we saw before, I'm going to click on text and you can see the modality, which are the kinds of foundation models that are out there. We have text models, we have image models, and we have text and vision models. Now let me head over to each one of them and we'll see what are they about. AI 21 Labs provided Jamba Instruct and Jurassic to mid and ultra models. As you can see, these are the max tokens which we had a look at. I'm going to head over to Jurassic to mid, and this is provided by AI 21 Labs. And as you can see, some of these model attributes include text, classification, and math. And supported use cases include open book question answering, summarization, graph generation, ideation, and information extraction. For typically, you would have separate ML models. On the other hand, for foundation models, you have a one-stop solution provided by AI 21 Labs. Let us head over to the other kinds of foundation models. We have image models, Titan image generator provided by AWS itself. And as you can see, this includes text to image, image to image. Let's say you wanted to have different changes in the image, or you wanted to edit an image. And then we have a max character limit that we can provide to the model. And we can provide a max image size of up to 25 MB. Then we can see that these models are built to detect and remove harmful content in the data, to filter out the inappropriate content as well. And you can see here it is providing us a description that while this LLM will not generate text, it is useful for applications like personalization and search. Heading over to the third category of models, which include both text and image, you can see Anthropic provided models. I'm going to head over to Cloud 3 Haiku. It is provided by Anthropic and it includes use cases such as quick and accurate support in live interactions, translations, content moderation. and it supports image to text, conversation, and chat optimized. It can be used for logistics, inventory management, and extracting knowledge from unstructured data. And you have a pretty nice size of 200K tokens as the max tokens that you can provide. Heading over to text, you can see that if I select any of these models, I can tweak the temperature, which is going to control the creativity of the response. Zero means not a lot of creativity, and max means a lot of creativity. Now, let us have a look at further service offerings provided by AWS. See you in the next video.